Moving up and down again, there's no discharge in the war. There's no discharge in the war.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Shepherd's Pie. I'm your host, Tommy, co-host over here,
David.
and today we're going to be talking about cryptids, the things that go bump in the night.
Boogeymen and monsters.
Yep. And what we think about them, what we think they are, where it originates, and generally just a lot that goes on with it. The phenomena in general, try to explain it a little bit, tie it back biblically. Just kind of dive into it a little bit, see what we can suss out.
There's been this talk recently, deep within the community. It's not really super prevalent, but of a new coming wave of these things. There seems to be, I don't have, we were just talking before the show a little bit, it's almost impossible to find reliable stories these days because so much shit can be AI and faked and just CG, whatever. So
the advent of AI has really screwed us.
But there's a lot of talk of, along with this fucking alien bullshit, of cryptid nonsense going on right now. National parks, that sort of thing. People are warning you not to go out into the woods. And even if it's not crazy cryptid talk, it's oh, well, the wild animals are acting weird. The bears are not just staying away from the campsites like they used to. The bears are fucking people up, and deer are I don't know. There's all these crazy stories of animals acting weird. You see the video.
I haven't been getting many cryptid stories in my news feeds and stuff.
I haven't been getting any videos, but I'm hearing that talk of, and it's come from you too, that I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, with Canada, there was the stuff going on with Canada.
You can't go into the woods.
Yeah, that was a thing for a minute there.
And it's why are you trying to keep people out of the you can't even go into your own woods. The people are getting arrested.
Yeah, there was some weird shit going on with that. Yeah, you can't even go out into the woods in Canada during that time on your own property without the government. If they figured out they were gonna find, well, it was what was the fine? The fine was crazy, wasn't it? Fucking, I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I think it was $250,000 shit. It was crazy. Let me check real quick, but So there's that during that time though, figuring out people were noticing it had to do a lot with the public land, the government woods, national forests and shit. And there's been a lot of stuff going on throughout the past decade, talk of these national forests being connected with missing 411. If anybody doesn't know what the missing 411 is, it's, I believe his name is David Pallades, has a book, did a lot of research on people that go missing out in these national forests. I don't know, thank God.
Yeah, it started with that book.
This brain, somehow,
He was a park ranger for the National Forest. Yeah. He wrote a book about all these stories that go unreported because there's actually, they don't have to report the deaths in national forests. There's something about it. I forget the fucking logistics. My mom was telling me about it. But it's a whole lot of these deaths and disappearances go unreported because of the way this fucking protocol is.
I got the fine amount for being in the woods.
What was it?
So in August 2025, literally not long ago at all, Nova Scotia implemented a strict ban on entering wooded areas due to extreme wildfire risk, imposing fines up to 25,000 Canadian dollars for violations. So I mean, that's insane. And it was literally just going into the woods. You couldn't go into the woods. It didn't matter if you were starting fires. It didn't matter if you smoked cigarettes and you were a firehead. No, you just can't even go in the woods. Human beings can't go in the woods.
Yeah.
And I remember too, before, so preluding this though, this August 2025 ban, wasn't it like a couple of years before that where we had these crazy wildfires in Canada that all like sparked off at the same time?
Yeah. And so the talk with that was that like they're trying to kill off these monsters in the woods.
Or something of the sort. Yeah, there's a lot of theories that go on with it, but just on the basis of today's topic being cryptids,
we don't buy any of that, but like
tying it in with stuff like that. I mean, there could be something to it. Just national forests also being, they're able to shut them down anytime that they want to. So they could impose whatever, the government could impose whatever, burn bans or no camping or no hiking in these forests at any time. And people kind of theorize that there could be either drills going on militarily in the woods, or there could be bases. So, bases, underground military bases. A lot of these national forests have cave systems. And with cryptids, a lot of accounts are actually located on a map around cave systems. If you were to put a dot on where all of these experiences happen, a lot of them happen around caves. So, and in these national forests.
Right. I was going to pull up a map, but I'm being lazy. A lot of this takes place up in like this northern western Canada region and northern western US. And so we're not too knowledgeable on like cryptids out of our area because we're stupid Americans. We're not too cultured. Fully aware that they exist. We'll have to do some more research and do another episode on these things. But for now, we're just going to talk about the ones we're familiar with, the shit we've heard of and actually experienced a little bit of ourselves or people we know. But let's bring it back. Tommy, I'm an idiot. What is a cryptid?
Okay. Okay, so a cryptid is an animal whose existence is claimed but not proven, often based on folklore, eyewitness accounts, and anecdotal evidence, rather than scientific validation. The term was derived from a Greek word, kryptos, meaning hidden or secret, and was coined in 1983 by cryptozoologist J.E. Wall to describe creatures that are subject to cryptozoological investigation.
So did he fucking coin the phrase after he was already a cryptozoologist? Or did he become a cryptozoologist after he had coined the phrase? How the fuck does that work?
Actually, yeah, because it says here, too, that the study of cryptids is known as cryptozoology. But then he's a cryptozoologist, so maybe he coined the term and instantly just became a cryptozoologist, you know what I mean? I don't know, self-proclaimed or otherwise.
So who came up with cryptozoology?
I think that cryptozoology is actually like it's an actual type of study that might not even mean cryptids, like mythical, fairy tale type creatures. It's probably more dealing with like just very unknown or actual species of like a salamander that's just like it could be like a real animal that just there aren't many of them, or we just haven't really gotten a lot of study on them. So there's a field of cryptozoology that deals with those types of creatures, and it expands out to these like cryptids, like Bigfoot, because there's so many sightings and stuff that it actually for a while was taken seriously scientifically. Like they were trying to find it, and they still kind of are, but
Well, so like
It's just
all these
widely
things were taken
dismissed.
seriously at one point. Like alchemy
Yeah,
was a serious
yeah.
practice at one point, and maybe it still is serious, and they're just lying to us that it was a bunch of bullshit. Maybe cryptozoology is serious, and they're just lying to us that it's a bunch of bullshit. But cryptozoology is a pseudoscience, it says, and a subculture also that searches for and studies unknown, legendary, or extinct animals whose present existence is disputed or unsubstantiated.
Yep.
So it sounds exactly like the definition for a cryptid.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, the cryptids.
Which came
there's
first,
like,
the chicken or the hen?
Yeah.
The cryptid
yeah.
or the cryptozoology?
Really. I think cryptozoology probably came first.
Well, this guy
But,
probably was just like the creator of both. He was probably like, hey, we're going to study make-believe animals.
You know what's kind of a cool thought though, like before it became more of like a scientific thing, so like there were like ancient people that were probably, you know, hunting down crazy exotic animals, you know, or whatever.
Right.
You had like ancient right. ancient hunters.
There's always been
like, going out
mythological
trying to find the
creatures,
big
right?
bads.
If we're to believe these things
Yeah.
never existed, then history is full of stories of creatures and animals and beings that didn't exist.
Like knights slaying dragons, you know.
Or the
And
fucking
that's actually another section we can go into too, with the ancient
the headless
myths.
man with the face in his chest.
Oh yeah, what are they?
Or
The chest heads.
The dog face men,
Right.
Or the cyclops,
Yep.
or the hippocampi, or like there's loads of these creatures, unicorns. That were
The
just
crazy part with these creatures too, though, you know, those chest heads. I wish I had a
Satyrs.
picture of them. But these, if you look up a picture of chest heads, it's literally exactly as it sounds. So it's remove the head off of a person's body and have eyes, a nose, and a mouth on their chest.
And there's multiple recorded stories of these things.
Yes.
Being
Not just in
interacted
one
with
area.
in multiple areas across the country that
Yes,
apparently weren't
yes.
communicating at the time.
So and that
Primarily
was,
in
so
China,
we have
they have legends of this guy named
Yes.
Jing Qian, and he
Yep.
was a headless man with a fucking
Yep.
face in his chest.
Go Smite.
Anyway,
Then so it wasn't just China though, and there's old depictions of it also in like Nova
Greek
Scotia
mythology.
region, like northern Europe. Then you get down into like India, and they're all over the place.
yeah.
And that's what's kind of wild about it. I mean, these cultures did trade. So, I mean, there is reason to believe that legends are also traded, you know, they had writing, you know.
What's weird is like
the documentation of it is just more personal. It seems like they had interactions. They describe interactions with
Yeah.
these beings like they had cultures,
yeah.
you know. And that's wild to even think, you know, like where's the evidence for it, I guess.
They
but-
fought against, did business with, traded.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but no, I was thinking it's crazy that like none of those things have carried on and over into our present day. Like if we're to think that it's the same kind of thing, it's like this creature that everybody believed in that didn't exist. Just strange that like the stories haven't carried on. We've got these new creatures now that don't exist.
They kind of they do carry on, but it's so like obscure now. It's not very mass awareness, you know. It's been delegated by like academia, you know, and the scientific community. They've put their stamp of false on it, and then it just doesn't get any actual looks. You know, people are trying to keep up to date with stuff, keep knowledgeable, and if you think, and nowadays, you know, you think that Bigfoot's real, everybody thinks you're crazy.
Right.
But you look at how many accounts globally of people seeing something.
See, Bigfoot's
like
the
a
one
gigantic
that
ape.
I'm like, okay,
It's
this one is
a
actually
lot.
convincing me.
Yeah.
Like we'll go
But
through
then,
a list
then
of them
again,
in a
we
bit,
got the
but-
lack. We got the lack of the evidence, and that's where it gets, you know, kind of. We get into a couple of territories, and you got the theories of it is either it doesn't exist at all. You know, these things, they don't exist. People are just out of their mind, or they're hallucinating, or they have psychotic breaks, or they're just misidentifying already, you know, available creatures and species like bears,
Or they want
other
attention.
things. Or they want attention, and those things do exist 100%. But it's like the way that I think about it is like statistical probability. If you have a large data set and you've got all these people claiming they're telling the truth, and I mean, we're talking, there's like probably hundreds of thousands of accounts.
Yeah.
And especially throughout time, there's so many that to discount them, and you can discount a good portion of them as all of those things. But then there's going to be a segment left over where with statistical probability, they have to be telling the truth and they're not misidentifying. There's a small portion of it where it's got to have credence, and in my mind that pushes it to other areas, where it's either the phenomena is totally physical, or maybe a mixture of non-physical and physical, but we have some type of, we talked about the Smithsonian in a past episode and what they did with giants and giant bones. And, they huge cover-up operations going on. They could quite easily, get a beat on where these settlements for these creatures were when they were more civilized, like we see depicted in old texts.
Have you ever heard of or read like
it.
SCP Foundation stuff?
Yeah.
Like there very well could be situations like that where it's not a big mystery. They're fully aware of the SCP of what a Bigfoot is. And they know how to contain it. They know how to make sure the public doesn't interact with it. They know how to make sure that when the public does interact with it, it's taken as a hoax. It's not believed. It's fucking just brushed off, and it's nothing. It's not a problem. Like it's all part of their special containment procedure.
SCP is obviously a fictional thing, but something we can kind of tie to more of that role that everybody's heard of, and it deals with something that's kind of like a cryptid, is the Men in Black in dealing with aliens. And they're described as a shadowy government organization that comes in whenever someone sees aliens, and they almost have this air about them where they're able to just get people to not talk about it. And I mean, to think that if you're the government and you got something going on, to think you don't have like a organization that's going around trying to keep things under wraps, secret projects or secret things that you want to keep hidden from the public. I mean, they have it. We have the CIA,
So yeah,
and that's the public version.
So there's like government foundations. I have it here. I'll pull it up in a moment. That actually do investigate UFOs. So why would we think that they are not also investigating claims of Bigfoot, these other things, skinwalkers, Wendigo, whatever the fuck,
and actively covering it up?
Yeah.
So
and why would you not believe they're capable?
Yeah, especially that. Why would you ever think that they're not capable of something like that?
So the counter question is, why would they? Why would they hide it from us? Why would they be containing these things? What's the big deal? Why not just let them exist like animals? Why not let everybody know? What's the big cover-up if they do exist?
Biblically and spiritually, that would be my best answer for something like that. Just in the sheer fact that, I mean, we've been talking about the elites, the rulers, and we know that there is a more dark, satanic type agenda going on here. And these creatures kind of give credence to the Bible, and biblical lore.
Oh, the Bible doesn't
Mostly
talk
doing
about
with,
Bigfoot.
Like, Nephilim and... No, it doesn't. But what it does talk about is Nephilim. And, I mean, Enoch, the Book of Enoch, canon or not canon, it's mentioned biblically. So, I mean, we can kind of refer to it slightly, I guess, if you want to. People can get technical with it, but, I mean, it's there and it's cited before and after the frickin' as a reference to the Bible, you know.
Oh, Esau
And in
sounds
the Bible,
like a Bigfoot.
Yeah, that too. The story of Esau.
Esau sounds like a fucking
hairy
monster.
man, a beast. He's described as a beast. Yeah. And so I mean, it's not far fetched out of there, you know, and it just kind of would give more believability to the Bible, you know, to the masses, to where they can't really say, oh wait, this doesn't exist. If people knew that Bigfoot was real, and like the government was like letting people know that he's actually kind of like a more spiritual type being, you know, and they have like parameters on him and they know how he operates, and I mean, they could just tie it back biblically, you know, it wouldn't be a hard jump from there. And if you're trying to make a society atheist and totally dependent on you know, experts and scientists that are all totally brainwashed through academia to, you know, like a hazing ritual. Once you get established in like academia, if you go against anything that they've deemed as being, you know, like woo-woo or pseudoscience, you lose like your doctorate. You lose your network to all of those peers. And that's almost more valuable than even the jobs that they get.
Yeah. We've seen how powerful canceling is within those areas just recently with COVID.
I mean, and that to me just kind of points to, you know, there's definitely validity to that, to the claim that we've got some type of effort to kind of keeping this under the rug for the public for that type of reason.
It's crazy that within our generation they've made it like popular. They've coined the term, this cancel culture thing, because like used to be, it was something that was done covertly. Like you would have to like subterfuge your enemies by like sending in fucking spies and covert operations to sway everybody against them. And now it's, you can just be like, call to cancel. Let's fucking shut this dude down because he said this. Let's cancel them. And it's like that in and of itself is like just blatant in your face. Like, so I hate to use the word psyop, but it's
agent smithing.
Yeah, it's literally just like spy work in your face.
Yeah, it's like in the Matrix.
What does the other side say? The other side doesn't say cancel them, don't listen to this person. They say listen to what this fucking person has to say. Listen to how ridiculous they sound, and let's shut down what they have to say with fact and reason.
Yeah, like it's not like they try to cancel a person or censor what what they have to say.
Now I will say there hasn't really been
they're wrong.
That like. Although in all of these cases, like officials, police, government, whoever's like investigating, they do come out and say like, we didn't see anything, you know, we can't prove anything. Yeah. But there's not this huge like cancel the fucking cryptid people, you know.
Yeah. Like very true.
So, you know, maybe it is just a hooey thing, but it, like Tommy said, it's crazy to think that there'd be that many coinciding stories. Like everybody's shit overlaps so well that, you know, it's hard to believe
that they've actually created books, you know, like with like all of the similar experiences that people have, and they've got Bigfoot's categorized, like knocking, you know, like the phenomena of knocking in the woods, where people go out in the woods and they'll hear freaking like logs and trees like being hit like really hard, and it echoes across the woods, and that's typically like a primate type thing. And they're having this happen in places where, you know, primates aren't freaking around, dude. They're not around. And
well, not only that, but it's like that phenomenon is experienced by like Tubby Lumpkins that lives out in the fucking woods all by himself and doesn't look into Sasquatch stories. He doesn't believe that shit. He doesn't know what people say is the calling cards for these Sasquatch, but yet his story is the same as everybody else's story.
Yep. So there's like followable, almost predictable. That's like a form of scientific, method right there, right there. It's a form of it, and it's weak though, and that's where they're not getting a body. They don't have a body of the Bigfoot to put on display, or maybe
that's
they
the
do.
thing.
They
They
just
wanna
aren't
have-
putting it on display.
As I was looking into this, I found somebody that claimed to have a body, and dude, the video of the body, he's like got it in a big walk-in freezer. It's like packed with snow. It looks so
Holy shit.
fucking fake and stupid. It's so
Really?
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean,
It's like it's a
it
prop.
is. It's pretty tough.
So yeah, you do
It's
got
tough to
you-
find real shit.
Yeah, you got people out there just trying to fuck with you. But then you get these stories that just seem so genuine. People are like distraught over their experiences.
Yeah, there are a lot of accounts too.
You've got
Like, I wish
people
that we
backing
had,
each
like,
other
guests.
up that have no business backing each other up. We'll get guests if you have
Yeah,
any
maybe in the
experiences and you want to
future.
come on and
Yeah.
talk about it. Fucking
For sure.
We got the shit now. Fucking email us, DM us, whatever. We'll get
Love
people.
to talk about some firsthand experiences that people have, from experiencing any of these.
Literally,
any of these
our
type of
only
phenomena.
criteria and reservation right now is you need to have a microphone. I won't even say you need to have a camera. You just need to have a quality microphone to where we can hear you. And come on, and we'll fucking talk to you about your story.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, speaking of fucking Bigfoot experiences, my dad had one, and he, like I said, he's this fucking country dude. He doesn't listen to Sasquatch stories. Like, he knows of Sasquatch.
Practical type man. He's a man's man.
Right. Like,
He's a man's man.
He's heard of Bigfoot.
He's not gonna.
But he doesn't know the hundreds of stories that all have the same calling cards. So he goes out into these woods that he's ridiculously familiar with. He's been in them his whole life. He's hunted every year for the last 15 years in these woods.
Yeah.
Since we moved there, and that's what he does. He's a hunter. He's been hunting his whole life, so he's ridiculously familiar with everything that's going on. And he says, as he's walking to this section of wood, before anything happened, his hairs on his arm started to stick up, and he like slowed down. And he's looking around, and he realized it was ridiculously silent. There was not a single sound in the air. And man. He fucking takes a couple steps forward, and then he hears the trees knocking. And so
knocking. He heard that?
Yeah.
Wow.
People describe it as like trees getting hit together. Like some people say like bowling pins getting clanked together.
Yeah.
But like it's so much louder and more powerful than that. It's like, I don't know, because I've never heard it.
They get guys trying to do it, and it's like, it sounds weak as shit, Like,
you
it
slam,
don't sound as
you
powerful.
slam two logs together. It's just like tunk, tunk.
Yeah.
No, it's like
this shit's
it
echoing.
reverberates through the woods, and it's like, how are you making that fucking noise? Because like it's not like there's uprooted trees that this fucking thing is slamming together. This is like a supernatural noise that is coming through the woods. And he heard it, and so it started out slow at first, and it was going with his steps. So he took those couple steps, and it clonked, and he stopped, and it stopped. And he took another couple steps, and it clonked again, and he stopped, and he stopped, and he did it again, and it did it even louder, and he fucking turned around and left. And he said the whole time he said he had his gun up in front of him, and he'd never felt so afraid in the woods in his entire life. And I've been out in there with that man, and I've come across bears. I've come across mama bears with cubs. It's like, what's more scary than a mama bear with her cub in the woods,
Yeah, literally.
And that man was freaked the fuck out.
He's pissing his pants.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
And he doesn't like to tell the story.
I'd be terrified
like
too.
He's not out there at the bar getting smashed telling the story. Oh, Sasquatch. No, he doesn't like to tell it.
He keeps it to himself
because he's embarrassed
he
that there was
uneasy.
something in the woods that scared him out of him.
Yeah.
He's a mountain man. He's a woods man, and he's fucking ashamed that something scared him out of the woods.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It got me thinking, man. Got me thinking.
How could you not? He's a credible person. I know his dad. I know Dave's dad. Good man, and he's a man's man. He's not gonna bullshit you, And obviously he's not out there running around trying to get notoriety for the story. You know, it was something that he told his son. I don't think anybody else really around Joe has to know that, you know? So it's like, how I don't think he would ever fib about that. So
Right.
very credible, very credible. And also in line perfectly.
No.
With everybody's accounts. It's pretty freaking wild.
So I heard a comedian say that maybe Bigfoot is just blurry. You know, maybe that's why anybody can't get a good picture of him. Maybe he's just blurry.
All right. So what you were just going based off of the story you were just telling. What was the first thing that happened?
Everything got quiet. Well, the hair.
The hair.
He was uneasy.
That's like static almost. You know, like that's an energy. You know. This goes into the other area.
Well, it was an unease. I don't know if I told the
what?
story well, but it was like a sense of unease that came on because it was quiet, and he didn't realize how quiet it was until he felt uneasy.
Well, the hair standing up on his body is it's a classic thing that happens to a lot of experiencers, and it's usually the first thing that happens.
Yeah.
You know, like they get this wave of uneasiness. And I mean, there are actually a couple of explanations that are notable that have been provided. One of them being ultrasound. So if this is a physical creature, maybe it's using ultrasound, like lions and other animals in the animal kingdom. They have actually a sound that we can't hear with our ears, but actually it has an effect on its prey. And so maybe Bigfoot has an ultrasonic, you know, sound that it can emit. It can actually tone out ultrasonic frequency that hits our bodies. We don't hear it with our ears, but we respond to it. Our bodies respond to it. Word.
Sorry, distracted.
Yeah, super distracting. No. But then there's also the other side of this, which we talked about the kind of like a government cover-up type of conspiracy that could be going on. So these creatures, they could be physical, but the traces of them are just being very closely guarded, and people are just being discredited who try to go after it in any type of like professional type fashion. But then there's also this idea that these are more spiritual or more metaphysical, interdimensional type of creatures. And there are a lot of accounts that go into that, along with, you know, like that. So if he's not ultrasonic, you know, using some type of, you know, quiet roar to really scare the shit out of people and get you in a state of fear, then he could be actually using some type of, you know, energy, you know, some type of vibe. Portals is another thing. I listen to another podcast from time to time, The Confessionals from Tony over there. Shout out Tony. Very cool dude. He has documentaries and stuff where he goes on hunts out in the woods, and he has a lot of guests on. He goes pretty wild with it too. He's a biblical lad himself, so I mean he's a good all around guy. And a lot of the stories that he has on guests' accounts of what they experience has to do a lot with this spiritual side of things, and that's kind of where I lean mostly, because I do believe that at some point some guy in the woods would have found a freaking Bigfoot bone, you know, or like we would have found some type of carcass, you know, maybe not, I don't know, but I think that they could be more spiritual. It could be more of a spiritual thing. And, I mean, in the Book of Enoch, it's kind of, you know, verified with the Nephilim. So that's where I kind of land with it.
Yeah, I agree. I still don't know if I fully even buy into the existence of it. I still don't know. I might be a Bigfoot denier, but I do think that if it doesn't exist, then it is some sort of spiritual, fourth dimensional, higher thing than just like people think it's like a missing link. You know, there's no way it's just a monkey, dude. But
People talk about him being some interdimensional guy too, like Bigfoot, like some type of like master.
It's like you
'cause
have
people
to
talk about
almost,
him,
you
like,
got to take it very individually, case by case, because people hear of the story and then they have different experiences and ascribe it to this thing because they didn't know what else to ascribe it to. So sometimes you do just have a bear off in the distance that's standing upright and it looks funny and you're like, holy fuck, what's that? It's a Bigfoot. And you get a video, it goes popular, tell a story, whatever. But I lost my train of thought.
you know what this so I just remembered another crazy aspect to this. I wish I knew who it was that kind of proposed this idea, but that there's this kind of force or this entity that what it does is it kind of gets into your mind and it appears before you as something, whatever, a Bigfoot or a Wendigo or a demon.
Oh yeah,
or whatever,
that's where I was going.
And that is a crazy idea too. That some type of predatory, like kind of etheric,
Yeah, like a fourth dimensional shapeshifter thing, and they're all just kind of the same monster. Yeah, there's that idea. I think it's more like, back on my train of thought. So like there's people that have genuine, real, but yet explainable, rational experiences that are mistaking them for this thing that has become such a big story. And then there's also people that are experiencing some higher thing. It's like some Nephilim shit. It's like a demon offspring, an unclean spirit, a distant mutation of a monster that once was, or something actively trying to fuck with you. So people have like horrific experiences with these monsters. And so it's like there could be like entities coming to get you. So it could be like demonic. And people are just ascribing them to these things that we're calling cryptids because it's fun. It's fun to talk about these things. Yeah. So it's when the things happen to you, it's almost like a cope to call it a cryptid instead of thinking it was like a demon or like a genuine. Like, yeah.
Maybe people without having like good enough discernment, it just kind of it could appear to them and they believe it more and would label it something like a Bigfoot instead of something demonic.
Right.
100%, I could see that.
We got other cryptids. We don't gotta just be Bigfoot in it all night.
The Wendigo.
You want to go Wendigo?
The Wendigo is the craziest one in my opinion.
Really?
It's wild, yeah. The Wendigo is nuts.
Tell me why, because I didn't think it was that nuts.
Okay.
I thought Wendigo was more of just like a cloak term.
It kind of is.
So I know that. Go ahead. I know it's got origins in Native American roots, is all I was gonna say.
Yes. That's where the name comes from, and it came from a time when America was like first being settled, and you had like miners and you had people exploring the frontiers, going up to the north, like in Canada, into the freezing cold. And so these people, they would be in these settlements or they'd go out into these mines and they'd get trapped or something. And when they would get trapped, the Native American lore goes that there is a Wendigo spirit that kind of exists in the land. And when people get desperate, they're starving, this Wendigo spirit kind of comes into them, whispers to them, gets them to eat people. And when you consume the flesh of another person, that's when the spirit fully takes you over, and it supposedly alters your physical body. You get way stronger. You start getting like gaunt, almost like zombie-ish.
Like emaciated.
Your flesh is, yes, you get emaciated.
Because part of it is you're always
also
hungry.
Like supernaturally strong and fast, like unnaturally. You just blinding quick and you can freaking pretty much rip a tree out of the ground.
Yeah.
other depictions have it with like antlers, you know, having like a deer skull type of a face with claws, like haunch legs. There's all sorts of different, you know.
That's modern shit. So
yeah.
like the thing with like the Native American ones like Skinwalker too is it becomes like an umbrella term, or like even Sasquatch, like I said, it becomes so popular that it becomes an umbrella term for all the shit. And it's like originally it was just that, what you said. It was like a skinny, tall, powerful, hungry person that had turned into this thing because it ate another person.
Is embodied
in desperation
by a spirit.
See, that part I didn't get.
He's been possessed. Yes. They've been possessed by an evil spirit.
I knew that like it had to be out of like an act of desperation, the cannibalism.
It's kind of the one that I believe the most. Really? Just yeah. It's the one that makes the most sense to me in all fashion of it, because it's not an actual being. You know, it's not like there's a Wendigo out there, you know, that's just roaming the woods, you know.
You think this act can genuinely turn a person into this monster?
I think that if
you think God's creation could be so corrupted by a spirit, God's creation is not being turned 100%. Into a genuine fucking
100% I do. 100%, yes. Know. Because you are agreeing to do it. You have something whispering in. If you want to ruin yourself today, you could have a freaking spirit whispering in your ear. A lot of people, I believe, today are partially or even fully possessed, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's from Nephilim, you know, spirits. You know, that's what demons, in my opinion, are. Is, you know, Nephilim. They're Nephilim spirits. They were wiped out during the flood, you know, during the great purge of them back, you know, eons ago. And they roam the earth. They don't go to heaven. They don't go to hell. They sit here. And they're still kind of powerful. They're outside of their bodies, you know, and we're spiritual beings. We can pick up on them, and they try to influence us. And that's what this Wendigo spirit is it's some type of demonic, probably fallen, that gets people to consume human flesh. And then that enters you in a pact with it.
Now that in and of itself, I could buy that. Maybe there's an unclean spirit that convinces you to eat human flesh in an act of desperation.
Yes.
Maybe that exists.
Yes.
This turning into a monster that is unsatiable and just goes on a killing rampage because it's so hungry and has superpowers. No, I don't buy that.
I do. I buy that too. I truly do.
Then where is that? How come we can't find? Because that's so physical. Why can't we find a Wendigo person?
There's a lot of accounts. You know, it was mostly during the frontier shit. You know, with people getting mad hungry. People usually don't go mad hungry anymore. You know, and especially like going out to the point where they're eating people. But there are people out there that do eat people. You know, we do have like elites, you know, they're freaking sucking down.
No, people are going mad hungry, eating people all the time.
It depends on what spirit that you're going into.
We should have a lot more Wendigos.
It depends on what spirit you're going into pact with. You know?
Either that or that Nephilim, he like got a bump up in the food chain because he made enough Wendigos that he got a different gig.
There's also a potential, because in the lore from the Native Americans, you know, there is a way to kill it. There's only really a couple ways to kill it.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can chop the thing's head off, and this story
is it like you kill it and it turns back into a regular person situation?
No, no. So they're done. Like once they go into pact, you're done. I don't know if an exorcism would work on them. I think it should. You know, based on my beliefs, but I don't think that during the time that this was really taking place, that was happening. I don't think.
Well, no, because it was like Native American shit. They're not
marching out. Yeah.
In the name of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. What they believed, and they have dealt with the thing. You know, it's in their lore. They were kind of unkillable. You know, like you could do mortal wounds that would kill a man, and it wouldn't kill these things. And so you'd have to take its heart and burn its heart in order to kill it. And that wasn't like a quick thing. Like its heart even resisted it, and it would take like days of like burning the heart, and while you're trying to burn the heart, the body's like trying to come back and like get after it and like take you out. It's like an insatiable hunger, just monster that ends up taking over the person. And I mean, this legend that I'm telling you is actually one you can listen to online. I hate that my brain sucks so bad because I have so much information in there. It's just I forget the important shit about like, where to find it.
Right.
But I'm sure that if you look up something to do with Native American Wendigo story, you should be able to find it somewhere. I'm sorry. I wish I had better sourcing for that. But I do remember this story and listening to it straight from a Native American, his mouth. A lot of their stories are passed down, verbally. They keep the tradition going. But he says that it was actually his, I believe it was his grandfather's, like either their father or during his time that he was hearing about this story. So it was like kind of recent, only like a couple generations ago that this one took place. And that's what happened. Someone got infected in the winter with a Wendigo spirit, and in order to kill it, they had to frickin' burn its heart. And that it took a long time to do it. Like they tried to chop its head off, and they chopped its head off, but the head was still talking and still trying to bite him.
Damn.
Still trying to take him on.
Damn.
And crazy shit. I don't know. The whole thing that makes me really believe in the Wendigo thing is my view on how spirits are roaming the earth. My view on the Nephilim and what happened to them. And it's like literally it's posted. It's written. They don't go to heaven. They don't go to hell. They stay here and they wander the earth. And they are the demons and the spirits that are, trying to fuck us up.
Yeah.
And I mean, smaller G gods, you enter into agreements with them and they give people power. You don't want to do it because they're ruinous powers, and it kind of burns your soul away, and you don't want to do that, obviously. But there is power in that shit, and that's why people that are desperate go to it, and it gives them something. So, to me, it's like if you're fucking starving in the woods and you've got this just ravenous spirit roaming around that's all it wants to do. It's specialized in hunger and bloodshed. Then, I mean, you enter into a pact with it, you're going to get something from it.
Yeah. So another Native American one would be the Skinwalker. Often gets confused or overlapped with the Wendigo. So Skinwalker first, well, not first, because I'm getting confused already. So the Skinwalkers are originally a Native American folklore.
Yep.
The story is that essentially, it was a vie for power. I forget originally who taught them, but it was like they were taught this method. This tribe was taught this method of how to take the shape of an animal. So there was a process of you had to go and hunt this animal, kill it and slay it yourself. I think eat its heart, drink its blood, something along those lines. Yeah, wear its fur, and then it's undescribed. I could never find exactly what it was because this is very much not talked about within the tribe. It's guarded. Super taboo.
It's guarded.
But part of the process is to complete the most taboo act. So
killing your family.
Or worse, apparently, because I heard that mentioned, and the guy went on to say worse. So who knows what the fuck that could even be. But apparently you enact this terrible act and you hunt and slay this animal. So it's generally something that was hunted regularly. Like you wouldn't see all these ridiculous animals. It wasn't just like a person that could transform into anything like Beast
There's
Boy.
like wolves.
You would see wolves or deer, you know, stuff like that was commonly hunted. I guess the bear was reserved. It was a lot more difficult of a process, and you know, you didn't generally see a bear. But yeah, like deer, wolf, that sort of thing.
A bear would be terrifying, first of all. If you just saw someone just turn into a freaking bear in front of you and just start running at you all like fucked up and like holy shit, dude.
And you see
terrifying.
that.
So I'm glad that they got nerfed. I'm glad it got nerfed.
You see that sort of thing a lot in media. The person with the ability to transform into an animal.
Yep.
And like Native American religion is some of the oldest religion, this animology, that like all these animal spirits basically rule the universe. So
it rules their world, you know, like they don't know. They're more of the land and
local,
of nature,
right?
You know.
Like your local bear spirit owns your local forest.
Keeping it local. Keeping it local.
But so basically that was just this super taboo practice. So it's not something they ever did. It's not, you know, there weren't armies of like skinwalkers going and fighting other Native American tribes. It was just a fucking horror story to them, seemingly. But then you get the overlap with Skinwalker Ranch. And so for some reason it was named Skinwalker Ranch because it's nearby to where these tribes were. But the tribes people themselves, and hold on, I should probably say the name of the fucking tribe, huh?
It's not Navajo, is it? It's
yeah, Navajo.
It is the Navajo.
Yeah. So the Skinwalker Ranch was originally owned, in the properties adjacent to the Navajo Nation. They owned fucking hundreds of acres. I thought it was a lot smaller. I hear Skinwalker Ranch, I think like a ranch.
No, they got a shit ton of land.
Maybe 20, 50, 100 max. No, it's like 500 plus acres.
Sizable.
Yeah. And it was originally owned by this Myers family. We don't know how far back because it was just owned by their family for generations. But they sold it 1994 to Terry and Gwen Sherman, and that's where we get the original Skinwalker Ranch story, where like this couple moved in, the house seemed weird, there's locks on all the doors and windows, they didn't think anything of it, they're living for a while, getting cozy, they're outside, they see this gigantic fucking wolf that comes right up to them like it's no big deal, walks right up to them, gets cozy, and is chilling. And this wolf is like 6 foot tall, like taller than them. If it was to stand up, it'd be like fucking 12 foot tall. Yeah, gigantic wolf. And then it sees their dog and goes to attack their dog. And he shoots it, and it has no effect. And so the story is fucking crazy.
This is a good story.
They go on to, you know, see portals. I guess they saw these like tunnels of light. They saw orbs, all sorts of poltergeist activity, you name it. But
just ultra haunted and ultra paranormal, you know.
Oh, their cattle was mutilated with like precision cuts. Like it's not like they were mutilated by a 6-foot wolf. It's like they were mutilated by a doctor. Doctor went out there with scalpels and was having fun on
lasers and shit, automatically cauterizing
in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
So, the orbs of light, he would see them out in the distance, and he thought it was a vehicle that got lost. So he would go up to the orbs of light, and it would just always maintain the same distance away from him.
That's so crazy.
So they only lived there for 2 years because fuck a bag of that, right?
Yeah,
like who's dealing with that?
Could you even imagine, man? Holy shit!
You're just trying to ranch it. Like, it probably costs so much money to get out there, first of all, and then to just have all that happen. You know, your cattle's fucking dying on you left and right. You're
you take a major L, and you're just like, all right, you know what, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Rapping on your windows and stomping on your roof at night. Like, fuck that.
Fucking
So they got out of there.
Fucking wolves, dude.
And actually, some millionaire took them seriously and bought up their property because their stories were actually becoming really popular at the time, back in the fucking 90s. So, Robert Bigelow buys it, and this dude's an aerospace engineer. Yep. I don't know if he's an engineer. He's an aerospace company owner.
Yeah, he's an aerospace guy.
Yeah. But, he's a skeptic. He's only buying it not because he believes it and wants to prove it's true, but he's a skeptic and wants to prove it false because there's been so many stories about it to this point. So he goes in with a crackpot team of fucking ex-CIA.
Yes.
You got fucking more aerospace like the actual engineers this time.
Scientists, all sorts of shit.
Biologists, and these people are skeptics. Like, they're not on the bandwagon. They're not like,
just to study the place.
Yeah. Well, that's all it was study the place because, we want to figure out what's going on here. And they took all sorts of samples. They did everything they could, and they came up with similar results. Cattle mutilation, electromagnetic anomalies. They, I guess, had a portal event where it looked like a ring of light with a man, the silhouette of a man coming through the portal of light. And, like, for some reason that blows my fucking mind is apparently they couldn't catch anything on film.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that every time they're trying to film this shit, their cameras kept dying. Or they would just stop recording, or they would go blurry.
Yeah. And you have that now with the current guy, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
But yeah, no pictures or videos of anything because, just like Tommy said,
but you have these prominent scientists and figures. You know, like these people, they're not
like they want nothing but to debunk it.
They're the most credible, you know, like when you think of the most credible people in your society, it's always the people with like PhDs or the people that have sworn oaths or that have, gone through crazy schooling and rigorous, scientific method fucking background shit. And that's exactly who these people were. They were brought in to kind of disprove the shit and to use their credibility to research it.
And they couldn't. They came up nil.
The same things, yes.
They came up nil. They couldn't catch anything to prove it, and they couldn't disprove it because they were all experiencing the shit, and they couldn't deny it. They couldn't deny that they were experiencing it. Oh, the cattle mutilations kept up. I keep forgetting about the cattle mutilations. So another millionaire buys it, and that's who still owns it. So the guy that bought it maintained secrecy for a while. He didn't say who he was.
Yeah.
But when they started the TV show that's going on right now, I don't know if it's going on.
I've seen it.
I don't know if it's going on still, but there's, what's it called?
Skinwalker Ranch.
It's just called Skinwalker Ranch. So there's actually a TV show where they're out there like actively filming and doing the same shit, like harder. They're going 10 times as big. The guy's got a bigger budget. He set up like triangulated fucking video towers with like HD and I think heat or infrared. And they're taking like LiDAR scans of the fucking earth and
seeing what's underneath
and they're seeing
if there's anything going on.
So they take LiDAR scan of the earth and they can't dig down there because it's like 400, 500 feet under the ground, but there's like an odd mass under the ground that they can't explain. They're also having orb events. They're also having electromagnetic frequencies. They're also having poltergeist-like experiences, like doors
radiation
and shit
too.
Slamming. They're
getting radiation readings on Geiger counters. Like they're using radiation readers and they're finding it, but it's transient. That's the crazy part with this place is a lot of this phenomena, it's not fucking isolated. You're not getting like maybe there's some uranium in the ground here, and I mean that means that every time that you scan this area with a Geiger counter, you should be getting ticks. You should be getting reads.
Right.
But they read this area and they'll get it, but then it moves, and then they'll find it over here, and then it's all of a sudden up in the air, and then it's in the house, and they're getting these readings, and they're transient, they're moving almost intelligently or just otherwise, you know. It's just unexplainable shit. Like, how do you explain it?
Yeah, they have their cattle GPS tagged this time, and the cattle are still coming up missing.
Not just that. Also, I remember watching an episode of this. It was
into the barn,
across a couple
or
of
into
episodes.
the fucking van.
Dude, they actually did get a video of something flying extremely fast, and they had a cattle die.
Oh.
And the cattle were acting weird on camera, and then one of the head died. And like as it died, they had like video camera watching, and that flew over top, you just barely catch it. You can't even really tell what it is because it's moving so fucking fast, and it's kind of far away, but it's close to, like, it starts close and goes far away, just like outside the camera. And they figured out how fast it was going, and it was insanely fast, you know, just based off of frame rates and like projection of like how far away it was from where the camera was. They can kind of figure out its speed or estimated speed, and the thing was hauling, and so it's like UFO type shit, you know. But yeah, that was wild.
So they had
cattle dying.
Yeah, they had another event where a cattle died. Again, filming a TV show, multiple cameras all around at the time, and right before the cow died, all the cameras shut down. So like, not only is all the cameras shutting down super fucking weird, but immediately after the cow died.
Yep.
And then there was another instance where a bunch of cows got into, it was like a vehicle, it was like a van or something. Like, they got into this small pen, a small area, and they're all side by side, like somebody put them there. And the person talking was like, yeah, like, these cows would never naturally get into this position, and it would be a pain in the ass to get them to do this. But here they are doing it.
They're being like kind of forced into
like
it, you
docile and coaxed,
like out of it, like they're out of it.
Right.
And that's another thing too. People that go to this place, they instantaneously get crazy uneasy feelings. They'll get sick. I think that someone got like radiation poisoning.
I was gonna say, if it's radioactive, it makes sense if you're getting sick.
I think they got some type of radiation, like poisoning, some symptoms of it, but like you go and you get checked out, and it's like, I mean, they can't really explain the shit that's happening there.
Right.
What if it's some type of let's get to like some speculation land here with it. Like, what if it, you know how they found under the ground, they did ground penetrating radar, they've done the LiDAR, they've done all sorts of shit, and they find this thing down there, and I remember that they were talking about the shape of it, and it's kind of in like a elongated type shape.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's possibly
UFO,
a craft.
You know, like, so what if these UFOs in their exotic propulsion or whatever they're using, you know, some energy source is leaking, and it just fucks with reality. You know, it fucks with space and with magnetic
like an old
fields.
world flying machine.
Yeah. Like Atlantis type shit.
So I saw a thing where they pulled some metal up out of the ground. I don't remember the types of metal, but on one side, I think it was nickel was one of them. But on one side of it's like a thin little sheet of metal. It's super like a piece of paper, like a thin, flat, quarter-sized piece of metal. On one side, it's one type of metal. On the other, it's another type of metal. 100% on either side.
Yeah, that's insane, because two metals like that, to be bonded like that, it creates like a corrosion. They don't just bind like that. That's so fucking hard to do.
Yeah.
It's like you're not finding that from like ancients, and I mean, you could probably barely even find that with like modern day shit.
Yeah, I think if we're to believe that there's like an Atlantis civilization, an ancient advanced people with literal god technology, because the lower G gods came down and told them how to do some crazy shit, and they could do whatever they wanted. Literally, that's what it said in the Bible. They could do anything their mind wanted. they probably had some crazy vehicles. They probably had the capability to do some gnarly shit. So if one of those is just stuck underground or something else, maybe something like a fucking, if it's not a vehicle, I don't know, some other old world shit.
Maybe like just like power type plant or some type of like power
energy
structure.
cell.
It's
I don't know.
Yeah, like a battery maybe. Yeah, maybe something like that.
But it
that
might be
holds
some
energy.
old world shit underground, and then it's just having some crazy fucking like some sort of
across as you said 500 acres, you know, like it's having a mass effect.
Somehow
over
it's just
a
resonating
huge acreage.
out this fucking weirdness.
This must be fairy dust. It's fucking radiating fairy dust.
That's one I definitely believe, because you got millionaires that can't fucking disprove it. And like, the one dude's making money off a TV show, but like they're still actively trying to figure out what the fuck. And they can't figure out what the fuck.
There's a lot of accounts with that place, and they're all very, very similar.
Yeah, it's been like 20 years now of these guys trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, what other ones do you like? Thunderbird? Do you buy the Thunderbird?
I mean, that one, I mean, I guess kind of. You know, there are gigantic birds. Dude, the other day, I tried to get a video and send it to you just because it was crazy when I was working.
Is that all it is? It's just a gigantic bird?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's just a big, but dude, like a big fucking bird. Like this thing can take a kid and fly away with it easily, you know? Like just fucking, and that's where some of the legends talk about. They talk about, you know, picking people up, taking off with them. You know what I mean? Like this giant bird. But dude, I saw an eagle the other day, a bald eagle. And dude, this thing had, I think, a snake in its fucking talons. Dude, it was like some crazy
bald eagles are
gigantic type shit. Gigantic, dude.
Like, some symbolism.
And he's far away, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, dude, this thing's kind of fucking. It's awesome, but it's kind of terrifying. If this thing wanted to come down and fuck my day up, it could. It could just. I mean, their claws are super sharp. They're strong as fuck.
Right.
Just come down and just fucking scalp you real quick and fly away with it.
So that one's a possibility. If it's just a big bird. What about
some cryptozoology? You know, like that's what they talk about. Some like kind of extinctish type species, or like
what's the legend though? Because that one's a Native American legend as well.
I don't know if it has necessarily like a legend as much as like Bigfoot and the Wendigo. I think it was just something that they saw and experienced a lot of. Just a giant bird. A giant bird. I'm not too keen on the lore of it, but.
What about the chupacabra, the goat sucker?
That thing, dude, I don't fucking know, because that one's just odd.
People had their goats sucked, man.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
It's like
weird.
You want to just say it's a dog with mange because what they say it looks like is just a dog with mange, you know. But like, people had their goats sucked. Maybe you had some weird fucker. Maybe there's some crazy motherfucker going around, like, I don't know.
But then there's people saying that they saw the shit, you know, and it does have, it's like dog-like, no fur, but it has like some type of like proboscis, like pointed fucking barb that comes out of its mouth, and it sticks into the necks of these fucking goats and drains them.
The Nephilim agenda, the unclean spirit agenda, is that corrupt mankind, you know, fuck with humanity. What are they doing sucking goats?
Who knows?
What's the chupacabra? That's a weird one.
You know, a lot of Old Testament shit, you know, like a lot of their rituals and stuff that they would do to like please their gods, you know, like even not just the God of Israel, the God of Abraham. But they would also you know, worship these other lowercase g gods, and they had their own rituals, you know, like, to me, it almost speaks, like, the fact that it's goats that they were going for and, like, chickens, you know, it seems like could be something to do with that, something, like, ritualistically, if these are some type of Nephilim agenda, fallen, you know, type beings.
Yeah.
Maybe they need it for something, some type of. I can't really claim to know because I ain't no Nephilim, so it's tough. But I can kind of surmise that it's got to be either for sustenance or some type of, ritual-esque type thing. That's my guess.
What about the Pride of Scotland, Nessie? The Loch Ness Monster.
So actually this one has some pretty wild shit with it.
This one has some debunkability. Did you not see?
Too,
okay, go ahead.
I
think it's whale penis. I think it's whale penis.
First. Whale penis?
I saw somebody else's video talking about how it looks like a whale flipped upside down,
just bang in the air.
Yeah, their dick sticking out. And dude, they had another picture of a whale doing that. So you have a reference picture of a whale doing that, and you show me the Loch Ness Monster, and they look exactly the same. I think the Loch Ness
Monster. A whale in there.
I think the Loch Ness Monster is just whale cock. But go ahead with what you think.
No, bro. That's funny.
Give
that's hilarious.
Give me what you got. I'm convinced on the whale cock thing.
Unless
there's more to the story. I'm
truly in the Nephilim shit territory with this. Like most of the cryptids, I truly 99% of them I do. I believe that it's more of a metaphysical type of phenomena that we're dealing with. And with Nessie, Aleister Crowley, he went to the same exact area, okay, and performed crazy rituals. I wish I was a little bit more read up on like the actual, because he has books, dude.
You think he summoned like a Cthulhu?
Pretty much. That's my thing. Because what he was trying to do, he was doing these rituals. Okay, he was doing. I only remember very loose parts of this. He stayed there and he did a ritual to summon his guardian angel. I'm pretty sure that's where this went. And this ritual took a long fucking time. Him and another very prominent occultist during the time, they came up with a language of Enochian. So they were channeling Enochian language and using it for angel magic and for all sorts of shit. And he came up with this ritual that it would take him some crazy long time. He had to stay in the same house doing the ritual. And that place where he did the ritual to summon this guardian angel was at the loch, dude. Okay? And this was before Loch Ness became a fucking thing. And so it's my kind of idea that, I don't know if it's my idea, but it is of the idea that he kind of produced this. And I don't think it's too far out of the realm, because everywhere that guy went and everything that he did with these rituals kind of has burst forth into, the consciousness of the world. And it's been, he's so talked about still to this day.
Yeah, you got to take everything related to Aleister Crowley pretty seriously. Like, not as fact or gospel.
Don't take it as gospel. No.
But like, take it seriously, because people that have power today are basing things off of
everything he did.
Yeah.
He laid the groundwork for modern occultism. Like, he took all of these schools of thought from these secret societies. He took it from
we're gonna have to do an episode on Aleister Crowley, man.
We really, really do, dude. And I would kind of love to. I want to go deep with that shit, though, dude, because there's so much to go into. He went into some dark shit, dude. Yeah. He wasn't known as the Beast. His mother called him the Beast when he was a kid. She referred to her own child as the Beast.
Do you think Mr. Beast's mom calls him Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast is another weirdo, dude. You never know, dude. Fucking who knows, dude. I don't know.
Speaking of another beast, We got to keep it going on.
Yeah. Let's keep it rolling. We will, although, understand me, people. We will be doing an episode on Aleister Crowley and diving into that shit and shedding some light on it.
So Loch Ness Monster. This is just gonna because Kraken popped up on my list, and I was like, Kraken is not
like a giant squid.
Is it a fucking?
Yeah. The Kraken is pretty much the giant squid.
Yeah, the giant squid's a real fucking thing. Like, how big of a squid? So
actually, that's a win. That's a win for cryptozoology because for the longest time, it was regarded as a myth that sailors were talking about. You know, Moby Dick and shit. Like, we have all this lore, and there was no evidence. And it came about, you know, that it was just because it was such a deep sea creature that when they died, I mean, it rarely made it to frickin', you know, the shores or to people before it was feasted on by other. The ocean's a gnarly fucking place, dude. Everything is just devouring.
So the Kraken's just a colossal squid.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And they are.
See, I was fucked up by Hollywood's depiction of the Kraken being this like monster with tentacles. It's like, no, it's just a squid. Yeah, they obviously
embellished the shit out of it, but it's based off of that, yes, of a giant squid. But dude, make no mistake, these motherfuckers were huge, gigantic fucking squid, dude. They were, in all effective terminology, sea monsters.
Yeah.
You would be sailing the ocean.
I mean, you generally never have them come up to surface.
Yeah, exactly.
And
but
it's not like
saw them.
Yeah, it's not like they're coming up to attack you, because they're deep sea creatures. They're coming up and they're kind of fucked. So I bet you what's happening is they're accidentally driving their boat into a surfaced colossal squid, which then attaches to their boat, and they're struggling to detach it.
Yeah, fighting it.
They see how big it is and its crazy beak and its crazy eyes and its crazy shape. And they get home and they tell stories about, well, this fucking thing had my whole boat and almost pulled it into the ocean and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely something to be said about that, because you know how guys like to do.
Yeah,
we like to tell our stories to our women and shit. So there is layers of that when it comes to stuff like this. There is, but again, it was real, you know. So this thing that they may have embellished a little bit, or you know whatever, but it turns out the shit was real. So you kind of have to take their accounts with a little bit more seriousness. They found a lot of the reason too that they were taking it so seriously scientifically was they were finding whales with sucker marks, with scarring on their bodies of suckers that were gigantic.
That were bigger than any squid that they never found.
Yes, than any species suckers could ever be. And they were finding chomps taken out of them by a beak, you know, and shit like that. And so they kind of knew that this thing had to be real. It's just, where do you find it? And I mean, imagine that, dude. Imagine you're out whaling, or you're just traveling across the ocean, and you see whales, and fucking a whale was down deep, and it got attacked by a giant fucking squid. They're battling it out, and fucking the whale needs to go up for air, so it drags that fucker up to the top, and you see a mammoth whale and a fucking giant squid in the ocean next to your boat, which the size of this fight in these creatures.
Bro, those sailors must have been so hard. Those seamen.
Yeah, literally.
Those seamen must have been so excited.
Yes, literally. Yes, quite right. But dude, yeah, that would have been terrifying to witness in person too.
Right. Oh fuck! I fucking scrolled down on my notes. So the Jersey Demon, Dover Demon, we already talked about.
Jersey Devil.
Yeah, fuck the Jersey Devil. We're talking Dover Demon.
What the fuck is the Dover Demon?
Maybe I'm
mixing
up.
I've heard of that one.
I think I'm mixing up the Jersey Devil and the Dover Demon. Let me check.
Well,
let me go back.
They two distinct things?
So let me figure out which is which. I'll start telling the story. So the Dover Demon, I was right. The Dover Demon, not the Jersey Devil. It was one night. So it's not like this thing that's come up since. It was one night, multiple separate people, all on the same night, reported the same thing. Pumpkin head, very short, skinny body, dark skin.
Like an actual pumpkin for a head?
Glowing eyes. Like pumpkin size and shape.
Just big ass head.
Yeah, big head, little body.
Yeah, big old head.
And so that's pretty much it. Is like these people call the police. They reported this bulbous pumpkin-shaped headed thing with glowing eyes. It's got a really small little body, spindly arms and legs, and weird colored skin. And cops are like, "What the fuck do you want us to do about it?" They investigated. They couldn't find nothing. Nobody else ever claimed of it before. Like, that's it. People, so they think it was like a misidentified animal, or like somebody playing a prank.
Well, what does that even look like? You know, like big, a fucking pumpkin head, glowing eyes, spindly arms. Was it standing up on? Was it bipedal, or was it on all fours, or did it have a tail?
So apparently it was 4 separate teenagers as well, is what I'm reading. But yeah, I would say bipedal from the descriptions.
This one could be a case of small town riffraff.
Do you know about the Jersey Devil? Because I
a little bit
didn't have anything
bit.
on it except
There's
for that it's from Jersey.
The lore goes that there was a witch, and
witch?
Satan somehow impregnated her, you know, or through some ritual. She got pregnant and gave birth to a hooved, bat-winged, goat-headed demon, for lack of a better term. That it grew up rapidly.
Creepers.
Yeah, pretty much, and terrorizes Jersey, like an area of Jersey.
That's gnarly.
That's the lore behind it. A lot of people did see it. They have a statue, you know, and like there's all sorts of
statue.
And then there's like the town that's associated with it. It's got like a whole tourism thing going on with it now. So I mean, I think that there was some sort of like credence to her existing, potentially, and like people of the time thinking she was a witch and whatnot, but the Jersey Devil thing, I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's one of those ones
the story
that to me
sounds
doesn't
like
have enough.
It sounds like a modern day Nephilim. Somebody got freaky with an unclean spirit and birthed an uncleaner spirit.
Yeah.
But
and, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I haven't seen it. People have seen it though, and you know it's like in the lore.
I don't know if I would invest anything into that one, but it does line up
with Nephilim shit.
So last I got, it's Mothman.
Ooh.
You know the Mothman story?
Yeah. So loosely.
Yeah, so it was like a teenage, early 20, 2 couples of like these young adults that recently married. They're driving around. They're by this old TNT factory, like an old World War II TNT factory that was shut down. And they're driving by and they see a figure on top of the factory. They said about 10 foot tall, with glowing red eyes and like a 10-foot wingspan, and they drove off because they were frightened. And that thing swooped down and came after them and began
chased
to
them.
like swoop down at their car and attack them. So they drove off at apparently 90 to 100 miles an hour, and this thing was able to keep up with them and continue to attack them. So they went directly to the police and frantically told the police, and since then, more and more people had been making reports of the Mothman. Yeah.
That one's there's that one. It has a lot more like eyewitness stuff going on, and people that speculate and theorize and stuff like to go into also like military, like it has some type of military connection. As far as like maybe there's some sort of tech, that they were trying to develop that was like some type of suit for people, like
Right.
the red being like infrared vision, and like they were just kind of like testing shit out. There's that theory that floats around. And you've got like its own outright like entity, but it's such a one-off when it comes to entities that it's kind of strange. You get kind of the idea that it could be some type of supernatural being, or Nephilim shit, of course. Apparently the Nephilim, they like to get freaky and mix their genetics with all sorts of things back in the day. So there was chimeras that were born. So I mean, you could have things of all sorts of different makeups. It's what we kind of believe the old world gods, like in Egypt, the dog-headed man, the eagle-headed person. Then you've got like griffins and shit, and all the different chimeras. So I mean, it's potentially a Nephilim. And then you also do have the fact that it is a small town and riffraff, and they also have a large tourism thing dedicated to it. But there is legend that goes through that when these Mothman sightings happen, that disaster follows.
Yeah. So the Silver Bridge collapsed.
Yes.
And like directly after that, they stopped seeing Mothman. All these claims that like 46 people died. Oh, I thought I was going to say 46 people had claimed.
Disaster, dude.
Yeah, 46 people died and the bridge collapsed, and all of a sudden the sighting stopped. So apparently before there was quite a few. They were going on it was 2 years of sightings.
Yep. And then I think something else happened too, that he was then witnessed again.
Well, people are seeing him elsewhere since. And so now when people see him, it's associated with doom and gloom, like
he's an omen of death.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is pretty spooky too. I mean, that leads to a supernatural type of explanation for Mothman.
Wouldn't it be cool if
like an angel of death,
any of these things didn't fit the narrative? Like, what if there was a cryptid that was cool? What if there was a unicorn that cried tears that healed any disease?
Yeah.
Like, where are the cool cryptids? That doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah, these things are mostly,
they're demonic. They're
evil,
unclean spirits. They're
origin.
leftovers from the old days when the shit roamed the earth regularly.
Well, it kind of does follow the narrative, as you're saying. There is a narrative, and
our cryptids follow the narrative.
Yeah, they follow.
Good cryptids do not.
Well, I don't know if there is such a thing as good cryptids.
That's what I'm saying.
And that would actually fall in line even better because, I mean, we're talking about God, we have God and then we have Satan.
Yeah.
And what does God use to heal people? He uses
Jesus.
himself, and Jesus.
Yeah.
And his angels, and his angels aren't going to come down in a scary form and heal people as a fucking unicorn. They're going to come down and heal people in more of a familiar face or in no image whatsoever.
Rings of eyes.
Yeah, they're going to come down and terrify the fuck out of people. And so it does actually line up really well. You get these
biblically
cryptids.
Accurate cryptid.
It is, yeah, that would be wild. I don't know, dude. I've been watching Supernatural for fucking ever, dude. It's such a long series, and anytime that the angels reveal their form to the humans, their eyes burn out of their fucking sockets, and it kills them. And because they can't bear the sight of them, And I mean, if you get into the Bible and like accounts, what was the?
That's what they said about God. They said God
was the guy that got to go to the heavens? Is that Isaiah?
I don't know. That's where we're
Might have
going to
been
plug our
Isaiah.
future Bible read, because we're going to read some Bibles in the future.
Yeah.
Read some Bibles. Not just ours. We're going to read everybody's Bibles.
Fuck. I can't remember. Ezekiel?
I don't know. I'm not
Ezekiel.
fact checking you.
I think it's Ezekiel. He was allowed to go up to the heavens, and he got to see a bunch of shit, dude. I think he's the one that made the accounts for the biblically accurate angels. You know, like he gave the description of the cherubims, the four-faced, the one of a bull, the one of an eagle, the one of a lion, and the other of man. And then it has 6 wings, and they're kind of covering its body, and
yeah, and it's like that's.
And then you got the
it's
wheels
a
within
human
wheels.
trying to describe what they saw in a place that's undescribable. You know.
I mean, he did pretty good describing shit, you know. And then he wrote it down, and it's still in the Bible, you know, today. So it's got some type of weight to it,
Right.
for sure. But yeah, that to me. So what you're saying, like, yeah, obviously, you know, in fiction, we get, you know, cool shit that pops up, you know.
Right.
Like, yeah, you slay like or not even slay, you just got like good shit out there, you know, like some unicorn with tears that fucking heal people, and you go and you collect the tears, and no, to me, we live in a biblical reality.
Not only that,
you know,
but when
like it makes
when you
perfect
enter the
sense.
enchanted forest of the unicorn, it can sense that you're unwell, and it comes to you and cries over you so that you are healed.
Yeah.
Like
That really, you know, dude, that kind of understanding that you just shut out, that question that you posed, really does kind of help me and just solidify my view on it.
yeah,
Truly. That a lot of these things are more than likely
it's legit. It's legit.
demonic in nature. And
It's legit, and it's legit because it's demonic, and demonic shit exists.
Yeah,
And
like
I'm not saying all these stories are true. I'm not saying every one of these creatures are independent of one another. I'm saying it's all unclean spirits. It's all Nephilim shit. It's all wackadoo. And a lot of people are faking. A lot of people are telling wild stories. A lot of people are associating nothing with these things because they don't know what else to associate it with. But
the world is also far crazier than, you know, we read in books.
Yeah,
it is. The world is much bigger and much
also
more
like almost
magical
exactly
than,
like it is when you read in books.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
for real.
Like you think this crazy shit is beyond us, and it's not.
They suck the color out of everything when they send you into school and they tell you what's real and what's not real, and what to believe and what not to believe, and what's far-fetched and what's in front of your face.
Oh.
They suck the color right out of your soul, and you're left in a black and white world that you get to just go operate in, be productive for a selective few, and you get to derive your purpose and understanding of meaning from textbooks teaching you how to be a good worker. You know, no, listen to your Bible, read your Bible. If you read your Bible, if you get a biblical worldview, you're not going to be living in a boring world. That's a huge misunderstanding that I think a lot of people that aren't like dedicated Christians, that wouldn't consider themselves Christians, they're always afraid of Christianity because they think that it's boring somehow. That if you follow God, you're boring, and that what's heaven? You know, if I can't sin, if I can't have sex, if I can't party and have drugs, if I can't do that, then how am I going to have any fun in heaven? Heaven don't sound like fun. I'd rather go to hell. That's what people say.
Right.
And it's absolute. Just you've got it so wrong. You're so misguided. Your compass is so pointed south that you just you can't see the forest for the trees, because it's not like that at all. The world kind of opens up to you when you dive into that book a little bit.
Yeah, it's magical. You got
you
giants
see the world
and dragons and magic.
So much bigger. Creation is glorious.
People splitting
it's not
oceans
boring.
and curing diseases and
there's magical shit, dude, and it exists right in front of our face, It's far more grand than they would like you to believe, and that's why you got us here to help you see it.
It really truly is. Well, with that, we'll fucking cut it. You bitches know what to do. It's the internet.
Yep.
Do the internet
Go
thing.
find us.
If you can't find us, you're dumb.
Yeah, pretty much for the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
where's your skills? You know, we live in a technical age. Go find us, people. Get on the tubes. Get on the interwebs, and give us a like.
Deuces.
Give us a follow. Comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.